everyone, Luke Smith here, and today's video is Saturday the 22nd of April. 3 days war. This is a couple of weeks old. This article is. I don't really understand it much, like what the premise of it, so that's why we're going to read it today. We're going to learn. The 3 Days War, also known as the Siege of Q&A Larson Civil War, is an event that occurred between the 1st and 3rd of April 2023. This internet conflict took place between two Larson-oriented communities, the Daniel Larson subreddit r/Daniel Larson and the Discord known as Daniel Larson Q&A. So in other words, two sites decided to have a go at each other. Conflicting viewpoints r/Daniel Larson. The subreddit r/Daniel Larson viewed the Discord server and management as the gatekeepers and worst manipulators of Daniel Larson. Well, to be fair, Discord and Reddit are as bad as each other. The managers who maintained control over Daniel's whereabouts, activities and interactions with the community would begin to host Q&A sessions on Discord where users would be forced to donate an amount of $5 to $20 to ask Daniel a question. Really, you're basically scamming the people to ask people a question right now. Any questions that were perceived as troll questions were removed without refunds. That's a con. Mainly because everyone that's asking questions are trolls anyway. And were often seen as unfair, which it was. Reddit users became extremely frustrated and outraged with this new management. The management were conning them, in other words. Them alleging that Daniel was being limited in his content creation, and where he was being enabled to make extra money on the platform. Reddit users suspected that Daniel would not return to TikTok and other social platforms as long as he was being managed and enabled by the Discord server, with the logic being that Daniel Larson was known to take the path of least resistance and viewed the Discord as a new, easier way to gain donations with the help of his managers. Most notably being his head manager being, I wish I had a dad, who is also a confirmed child abuser. Reddit users decided it was their time to take action and liberate Daniel from his new management. Daniel Larson Q&A. The managers of Daniel Larson Q&A viewed the Discord as a new way as a way of making the new Daniel Larson content, and the subreddit as a bunch of trolls who wanted to hold Daniel back. The Discord server, as its name states, hosts a Q&A session where managers and admins of the server would allow people to pay to ask Daniel questions, with a revenue split between them and Daniel. Better have been half and half, because if the managers get more than Daniel, then it's a bit of a con for him then. A bit of a con for everyone really who's donating. This often seen as exploitation of Daniel's mental illnesses. Even though the managers never claimed to be gatekeeping Daniel Larson, they fully understood that they had full control over Daniel and the information pertaining to him. They would spark controversy and infamy as they started to work together to ensure that Daniel solely contacted them, and that they were the key holders to everything and anything about Daniel. Although the managers of Daniel would say they are not seeking clout and or control of Daniel, it was clearly evident that was their goal. To be fair, like, both sides are just as bad as each other, just like using him really. Driven by their need to be directly in contact with Daniel and their desire to have power over the situation, they intended to counter the subreddit's desire for Daniel's content and tried to keep Daniel under their wing. This plan would ultimately fail. April 1st. Okay, now we're getting into it. Well, where am I going? Okay, here we are. April 1st, unrest on the horizon. April 1st, April Fool's Day, marked the first day in which Daniel Larson Q&A began operating. On the night of April 1st, we see the server host its first Q&A event, where Daniel is brought into a Discord stage to answer questions from fans. Little to nothing happens during these types of events. In most cases, Daniel would get cold feet and leave the stage time and time again after receiving questions that he perceived would dox his location. In other words, what is it like there, that sort of thing, like where you're at. Or Daniel was in situations that would overstimulate him. Daniel would continue with his regular antics, using a Discord server to tag everyone and constantly plug in his Cash App to the point admins would take it away from him. He also would use the chat to say ridiculous and random things throughout the server's existence. Although most of what came from the Discord Q&A server was a huge nothing burger, but a few notable events. Fake plane ticket, Delta. April 1st, users and management attempted to send Daniel a fake plane ticket in the hopes that Daniel would arrive to Houston International Airport and go to an airport meltdown. 3 fake tickets were created. One of the tickets being extremely poorly fake ticket, edited within what seemed to be Snapchat. A Discord user by the name of Clowny aided the server in creating 2 tickets that seemed extremely realistic. The management, in a dash of extreme incompetence, decided to send Daniel the poorly fake original ticket. Daniel immediately knew the ticket was fake, resulting in the plan failing entirely. Well, it's good that he knew it was fake. Tina and Olivia Vanderwall. 2 trolls by the names of Tina and Olivia Vanderwall worked to trick Daniel into thinking that he was having a conversation with the real members of the Vanderwall family. Although Daniel was convinced that Olivia Vanderwall was real, he had his doubts about the authenticity of Tina Vanderwall troll, who threw Daniel into a paranoid episode, resulting in him to exit from the stage. Olivia was able to convince Daniel that she had a fondness for Daniel, and that Daniel should consider a three-way with him. Grace and Olivia. Questionable Daniel comments. Although Daniel would write nonsense into the general chat server, Daniel sent a few questionable comments into the general chat of the Discord Q&A server. 2 of the most notable comments being, "You can have protected sex with a guardian with guardian permission in Florida. Me, Grace, are having sex tonight." In other words, to be fair, I don't think she's a minor anymore, but the same thing's fucking creepy. Enabled by the server to feed his delusions, Daniel convinced himself once more that his relationship with Grace was real and legitimate. Still on it with the Grace Vanderbilt bullshit. Operation Liberate Larson. Many Reddit users became immediately upset with the entire situation of his new management was up to no good. Reddit, in cooperation with smaller lolcow subreddits, began initializing their first attack against the Q&A server known as Operation Liberate Larson. The plan was simple: to find a way to report the Discord server to Discord Trust and Safety, in the hopes that the Discord server would be taken down for not enforcing punishments against users who are not abiding by Discord's terms of service. According to the sources, over 50 plus reports were made were confirmed to have been made to the Discord through their website portal. The entire plan was based on the fact that Discord had recently changed its TOS, enforcing rules and violations on more servers and users in an iron fist fashion. Although this ultimately failed in taking down the server, it was confirmed by a third-party source that over 15 plus users of the Q&A subreddit of the Q&A server received banned accounts as a result of the report. So in other words, they can start reporting the users, not the actual accounts. FTC debate. It was discovered that Daniel Larson Q&A server was holding a raffle for Daniel's famous scabies jacket they had during the homeless saga. I wonder if he's still got scabies. I bet he has. The Discord server was selling 10 tickets for $3, using Discord's subscription feature to sell the tickets. It is unknown how many subscriptions were purchased, but it is estimated that 5 to 10 subscriptions were purchased, resulting in an income of at least $30 through Discord. Although the raffle was unsuccessful, Redditors who were working to take down the server understood that a Q&A server was in direct violation of federal law in regards to raffles and prizes enforced by the Federal Trade Commission. The server had no way of obtaining the jacket. They had no ownership of the jacket and had no plan on actually sending the jacket to the supposed raffle winner. Although the raffle inevitably never took place, the money was taken by the owner of the server, I Wish I Had a Dad. Reddit users planned to report the owner and the server to the FTC if the raffle officially went through for fraud and a fake prize. Uprising. Redditors began to post to the subreddit sharing their disgust and hate for the new management, including propaganda being created to inspire Redditors to take action collectively against the Q&A server. This plan worked, as almost the entire community Reddit began to work together to begin to topple the imbalance of power. This marked the first day of the uprising and the beginning of the 3-day war, as the subreddit Daniel Larson World Discord server and other small subreddits began to join forces to attack the server. Fucking hell. Well. April 2nd, Docks conflict, the plane. That was only not one day, we only on like day 2. April 2nd marks the first day in which personal information about manager I Wish I Had a Dad began to be released. Originally doxed by a user of the Daniel Larson World Discord, information about the manager has become widespread information. This attack exposed the manager as a money-begging serial Twitter user, father and other personal information. As a result of this information being released... Okay, that's fine. I'll read it quickly. As a result of this information being released, the manager began to get cold feet, saying on stage press conference that he may be leaving for a little bit. Yeah, he's shitting himself. Only a few minutes later he would react in the statement by stating, "If they want to scare me, I'm going nowhere." This would ultimately be his worst mistake. Behind the scenes, an army of information gathering trolls began to gain the information of the other admins should this information need to be released. This included the information of administrators Zen98 and Darth, although this information was never released. It is confirmed that their information was on hold to be used if future plans were not to work. The plane. Coordinated by manager I Wish I Had a Dad, Daniel sent $115 to Cash App of his manager. No, he's just giving the money away to his manager, in other words, fake manager. It was this time that the manager has purchased a ticket for Daniel using Daniel's money from the donations to to purchase a plane ticket from Houston to Newark. This ticket was confirmed to be real. Daniel's manager is confirming in front of an audience of 300 plus that Daniel also gave Irish's dad his debit card information. Why would you do that? You should never give any information to people that you don't even fucking know. And other financial details to purchase this ticket, even if they have only known each other for 2 days and they never met before. They only know each other online for like 2 days, and he's already like giving him money to do stuff. Really. Reddit users became outraged that his manager was enabling, coddling and supporting bipolar, homeless, autistic paedophile. This enraged the Reddit and other Discord users more, enabling the community to attack much harder. It was at this point that the resistance against the management became organised. Although a few Discord users supported the purchase of the ticket, a large percent of the users did not agree with the situation. April 3rd, nuclear docks, final push, Vanderbilt welcome. On April 3rd, Daniel was at Houston International Airport awaiting his flight. It was this day that a Daniel Larson Discord user discovered the criminal history of Irish's dad. The criminal history included child abuse charges with the detail of great bodily injury, fucking hell, in which legal terms explains that the injury to the child was extremely vicious and potentially life-threatening. Irish admitted to his child abuse in past with no remorse, joking about the child abuse. He went on to say that he has no reason to explain himself to internet trolls, using his baby mama and his use of Xanax as excuses. This has made evidently clear that Irish did not care about his family, children and really himself. This information became widespread and spread like wildfire on the Reddit. By the end of the day, almost every subreddit understood that Irish was really about and understood his dark past. Warned by others before, Irish was not prepared for what would happen to him during his new management career. This was the first time in management history that a manager has been exposed for such heinous and horrible charges. It's the first time that a manager would also been researched to such an extent, yeah. In other words, do not get involved if you don't want to get found out, but in a way it's good that he decided to troll and pretend to be Daniel's manager. So now everyone knows what horrible shit he's been getting up to, so everyone can report him to the police for it. I think everyone's got his address, to be fair, that was involved. With skeletons in the closet, Irish became detectably one of the most hated figures in Daniel Larson law history, akin to Ox and Flexburger. Some users described Irish's docks and exposure much worse and eventful than Ox's and Flexburger's was. Gilded by ignorance and selfishness, Irish drove himself directly into a brick wall. Towards the end of April 3rd, the Discord server was deleted with an astounding Reddit victory. The deletion was due to the owner finally realising the position he put himself in, becoming an extremely hated figure and being ridiculed by hundreds for his horrible child-beating past. It has been proven that Irish had some contact with Daniel as of April 4th, but considering Daniel had returned to TikTok and began begging for donations once more, order within the community has finally been resolved. Vanderbilt welcome. On April 3rd, Daniel was convinced by trolls in the server before its deletion that the Vanderbilt family would be waiting to pick up Daniel after he'd landed in Newark. This was most notably performed by Olivia and Dave Vanderbilt trolls on the Q&A stage. During this Q&A, they discuss paparazzi, Tina being in disguise, holding up a sign with a code word, and planning that Daniel would do will do with the Vanderbilt family in New York City. Daniel falls for this and makes his way to New York, anticipating the Vanderbilts. You know, notable Reddit resistant figures: Larson purists, Clowny, Gustin, Comfort 6, Astro, Hairy Pussy Creeps, Bobby Backer, Alec Jones. Notable Q&A members: Daniel Larson Gatekeepers, I Wish I Had a Dad, Zen98, Dether, and Shout Out Nate. And notable neutrals figures, which is Perk30, who I'm subscribed to, and you should subscribe to him too because he makes good content, and Passive Observer. So what exactly happened to I Wish I Had a Dad? Oh, by the way, this was last edit on the 11th. This is the entire article right here. So, like, did they just, like, want to scare him off? Because I really hope that they called the police on him and doxed his address and got him swatted or something like that. Because, like, yeah, it's fucking disgusting, beating up kids and stuff. So I really hope something really bad happened to him. But we'll never know. There's been no updates, really. Unless we click on his name and actually find out. Yeah, we'll read that another time, to be fair. Whoa, where I'm going. There we go. I'm watching videos, by the way. Yeah, so that was the 3-day war article. Interesting. Again, another interesting one. I feel like it's getting really interesting in the Daniel Larson law at the minute. Yes, he's back on TikTok. He was banned and now he's back. I don't know why. Ban evading is not good because that'll get you banned again. And now he's complaining about trolls coming up to him. And he's basically taking pictures of young boys and saying that they're trolls. Yeah, his paedophile side is coming right out again, isn't it? He likes little boys now, don't he? Fucking hell. So, yeah, that's been it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And on the left hand side of the screen is the information if you want to help support the channel, you can. And I'll see you guys next time.